Xrp, 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 Xrp. The bulls getting ready to run out the gates.
The investor demand is to move to 24 by 5, and we're working as an industry to get that going, and we will. And I think by the second quarter of 26 that will begin. But you can't move to 24 by 5 and compromise risk. You can't move to 24 by 5 and compromise price discovery. So it's a very knotty issue. It's not just a technology thing where you turn a switch and it happens. So we are engaging very actively with the industry on things like, okay, in a 24 by 5 environment, what's an X date? What's a dividend date? What's a corporate action date? What is end of day? When does it begin? But again, it's to meet the needs, as Chuck rightly said, of an investor class globally that wants more access to the U.S. markets. And how do you make sure they have the liquidity and the price discovery to do what they want to do? But again, I think it'll be another watershed event, and it will probably move other markets around the world to continuously have price discovery in certain asset classes when they want it, when it's convenient for them.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. HighVibeAssets back again with another dagger. The show is sponsored by AlgoPearRich family. Join the society. It's turned up, family, for sure. Make sure you click the link in the description, or you can follow me on my X.com page. We got 12,500 followers. The AlgoPearRich community is turned up right now, engaged, locked in. Make sure that you hit the like button, family. Make sure that you smash the subscribe button. Every time that you come on, family, it's going to be bullish. Now, the video that I played to start off today's show is a, very significant, powerful video, because that was the president and CEO of the Dtcc, the Global Trade Repository Service. And the Dtcc family, they're handling quadrillions of dollars per year just in transactions alone. It's up there with government bonds, treasuries, corporate bonds. I'm talking about, these, underlying exchanges that's holding, wealth that, really retail investors and retail traders, we don't really know anything about that. But, long story short, the president and CEO of the Dtcc is talking about, changing their systems from the legacy payment system that they're using now, closed on holidays, closed on bank days, closed early, open up at 8 in the morning, closes at 3, and changing that over and really responding to the demand of people wanting more access into the U.S. markets by changing over to 24/7. And it's only one way that they're going to be able to do that, to really switch over on those markets and come over to something that's live 24/7. What market do you know, family, that's like that today? And that's DLT, and that's distributed ledger technology, and that's blockchain. And we've covered on this channel so many times, right? This is the reason why you subscribe to the HighVibeAssets channel. It's always bullish every time. We've seen government bonds. We've seen corporate bonds, treasuries, banknotes, real world tokenization of assets. We've seen, central banks, governments, right? Exchanges, NASDAQ, big banks, right? We've seen it all. But to have a public move like this lets us know, family, that look, we're coming close on the time to where that these large institutions are really going to price out retail from really even getting their hands on any of these digital assets at a certain price. And this is why we say that this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Look, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, but to actually get your hands on a part of the next financial infrastructure, right? Even if you can't get one of something, you're able to scale and you're able to scrape, you're able to buy fractions of one in this brand new digital asset space, family. You have to be, got to make sure that I choose my words wisely, right? But look, this is the investment of the millennium. Take a look at what I'm showing you right here on your screen, family. With the DTCC being in digital assets, what that means is they're going to tokenize their entire clearing orders in a tune of 2.5 quadrillion. And what we're going to talk about on today's show, family, that again, Ripple and Xrp have already positioned themselves to do business, to be able to transact and to bring on chain their entire clearing orders in the tune of 2.5 quadrillion, family, on chain onto the Xrp ledger with Xrp, Ripple Labs USD, all of that on chain. Now, the entire 2.5 quadrillion, we understand it don't work that way, family. But to get a piece of a $2.5 quadrillion pie, you know, that's exactly what you want. You know what I mean? That's exactly what you want to see. And that's bullish. It says right here that in 2022, the DTCC subsidiaries processed securities transactions valued at 2.5 quadrillion. And its depository subsidiary provided custody and asset servicing for securities issues in over 150 countries, territories valued at $72 trillion. Now, I'm going to just stop there right there. You know, one thing I try to get people to really understand about distributed ledger and about cryptocurrency is, you know, you're dealing with entities, family, that, you know, hey, you know, these entities are not your local entities that you just see walking up and down the street. You know, these are, you know, black shadow entities, right? These are, you know, deep state entities that are dealing with assets under management and values and asset classes and worth and ownership in the trillions, in the quadrillions, family. This is why we bullish. This is the exact reason why that, look, every time that you come on this channel, it's nothing but bullish content, because we're dealing with this. We're dealing with the capabilities of these entities. We're dealing with the capabilities of these financial conglomerates, switching over from the legacy payment system that they've been using. And look, they don't want to use it anymore. You know, finance is being democratized, you know, instantly, at the speed of instant. There are more people who want access to the full liquidity of the United States markets, foreign exchanges, and trades, doing business, shipping, different use cases of people wanting to be interoperable and want to act in between different countries, financial jurisdictions. The world is opening up in the tune, from a DTCC standpoint, family, of 2.5 quadrillion, and another subsidiary with 150 countries, family, in 72 trillion. The DTCC's global trade repository service, though locally registered, licensed, or approved trade repositories, processed more than 17.5 billion messages annually, right? And with all of that coming on chain, with all of that coming to the distributed ledger technology and having it being interoperable, family, do you really understand it? And the reason why I tell you is that, look, this is the investment of the millennium. And I tell people all the time, family, when you do come on this channel, that if you're not bullish, this is really the time, family, and really the countdown of the time for where we're going to see the petrodollar system burn and crash, right? In the birth of the distributed ledger technology blockchain financial system, family, if you're not bullish, this is the perfect time for you to really start to consider to get bullish. But if you are bullish, family, you need to get even more bullish. You know, even more. It's time to get even more bullish. And, you know, sometimes, man, you can be in this space, man, and, you know, you can lose your sense of sight, man. You can get distracted. But this is the reason why you come on and you click these videos every single day, because I got you, family. Don't worry. I got you. We turned up every single time. Make sure that you hit that like button, family, and make sure that you smash the subscribe button. Now, again, you have to understand, family, when you're thinking about, okay, the derivatives market, we understand that they want to go on chain. We understand that they're processing, look, big time numbers, big time values. These values you can't even put into your calculator, bro, right? But essentially, when you put that into a value, what does that mean exactly? Hey, look, I got XRP. At the end of the day, I'm worried about the price. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, these assets, I'm looking for them to benefit me and benefit my family. Of course. But you have to really understand is that we're looking at the people that's going to be in the new financial 1%. Just like the people that have ownership in the railroads, people that have ownership in the maritime companies, the ships, the ones that control the laws of shipping. Those are the financial 1% family. And this is an opportunity for the masses to be a part of that. And we haven't even really tipped the iceberg. And that's what I tell people all the time. We cover this space, pretty intensely. The Ripple and SEC case, I'm just going to start there. In 2020, XRP is not a security. What's a security? What's not a security? We have stablecoin acts being passed now, custodies, all of these different use cases being passed, but we haven't even still hit the tip of the iceberg yet, family. We're still really in the beginning. Cross-border payments, right? Still being tackled. You think about the winners and big players in this space, huge price movements, institutionals coming in, trillions, big governments declaring their winners. We haven't had any of that in this space, family. We just getting started. Take a look at this chart, family, what I'm showing you right here on your screen. This is just to, to give you a visual of what I'm talking about. How, look, if you're not continuing to add to those bags, you need to add to those bags. We're talking about derivatives being on chain, and derivatives is at the top of the financial food chain. Starting at the bottom, family, you got $28 trillion that's in base money alone. You got $40 trillion that's in banknotes. You have $57 trillion that's in government bonds. You have 116 trillion worth of corporate bonds. The commodities markets for the CFTC, they're controlling $300 trillion worth of assets. In the derivatives market, family, we know that they're pushing 1 quadrillion plus. Now, think about it like this, family. What if the XRP ledger gets a piece of all of that pie? I told you, man, I got you. I told you, man, every time it's going to be turned up. Because when you really start to really see the real utility of the space, and you really start to see the underlying real world value that's going to be switching from the legacy payment system over into blockchain, and if it's just a piece of that pie coming on chain, family, look at the potential prices of the XRP price. Just with base money alone, 28 trillion, let's say half of that comes onto the XRP ledger. That's a $373 XRP price. And look, family, this ain't, nothing like, set in stone. This is exactly what it's going to be. This is just a reference, family, of when you do all your calculations, when you think about the amount of XRP that is available, you think about the burn rate, you think about the utility, you think about the amount of wealth that's coming on chain, and you do your calculations. This is exactly what it's going to come out to, roughly around there. Government bonds, family, just to say half of that, if $28 trillion is coming on to the chain, family, $670 XRP price. And it's a lot of people, a lot of with these digital assets, XLM, XDC, Solana, Binance coin going crazy right now, right? Look, family, there are a lot of, assets, man, that you can really choose from, that you can really put yourself in a, financial position as an investment. As something that, you want to put into your family chest that will put you in a position, man, over the next 10 to 15 years to where you can change your life financially. But we just was talking about those derivatives, and if derivatives come on chain, right? and 500 trillion family coming onto the XRP ledger. I mean, look at these astronomical numbers. And this is something that, I'm expecting, family, and I'm preparing my mind and everybody that's in the HighVibeAssets community. You have to stay focused. And you have to add to those bags because we playing the long game. Because coming here in the second, family, after we get these regulations, after stablecoins regulations is locked down, after custody is locked down, after the financial institutions come into the space, family, I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to purchase you an XRP for $3, family. XRP is going to go to another damn planet. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section as well. Join the AlgoPearRich community, freeing minds financially. This is not financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. Look around and tell everyone that the bulls are getting ready to run out the damn gates.
XRP, 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 XRP. The bulls getting ready to run out the gate.